Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel. I appreciate any of you guys making comments and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I like to engage with my subscribers. If you do subscribe, I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, I hope you like these examples. I found them on my computer from the time when I had the 100 to 400 Mark II Canon lens. I know some of you guys don't agree with my assessment and my test that I did, and it's possible other cameras on the actual lens do operate better than my camera did. Anyway, have a look at the examples, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Hello and welcome to another video, and this time it's regarding the 100 to 400 Mark II lens. In this video I want to basically go through the quality of the lens rather than discuss the disappointing autofocus speed on the 7D. Keep in mind that it will probably operate a lot faster in terms of autofocus speed on more higher end bodies, or newer bodies for that matter. So let's just zoom in and have a look at this picture. But first let's look at the data. 164mm at ISO 400 at 5.6. So let's zoom in. 100%, good detail. 200%, just start to lose a bit of detail, and that's at 300%. Apologies that the pictures are medium raw settings, not high settings, unfortunately. Didn't realise that at the time, but they are 10 megapixel pictures, so they should be usable. Right, the next one, let's have a look at the image data. 400mm ISO 800 f8. Let's zoom in and have a look. 100%, still good detail at 100%. 200%, we start to see some pixelization, and 300%. Move on to the next image. Here's another bird. Get the info. 400mm ISO 400 f8. Let's zoom in. 100%. 200%. 300%. Next image. Here's a nice flying duck. Let's have a look at the image data. That's 360mm, ISO 400 5.6. So let's zoom in now. 100%, 200%, 300%. Next image. 100mm ISO 800 f8. Let's zoom in. 100%. Does seem to lose some detail. Doesn't seem to be as sharp as it should be. Let's just take another look at the data. Running at 1/25 of a second, should be fast enough at 100mm. Remember, the camera lens does have 4 stops of IS. 200%, 300%. Next image. See some fungus here. The image data. 40th of a second, so it's quite low. 400mm ISO 800 f8. Doesn't seem as sharp as it could be, even at f8. 200%, 300%. But we are seeing pixelization there. You can see some tiny squares. That's because it's set to medium settings rather than high settings. Right, next picture. Found this in the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. It's just basically sculpture, probably based on something from Greece. So let's just have a look at the data for the image. 214mm, f8, ISO 800. %. Looks fairly good. 200%. 300%. Next image. This is part of the review I did, and I did some test shots. So let's just zoom into this image so you guys can have a look. But before we do that, let's have a look at the file settings. 400mm. Unfortunately, it is ISO 6400. Do apologise. f8. 50%. Good amount of detail. 100%. So it looks pretty good. 200%. 300%. Obviously, it is medium settings on the camera. Next image. Let's have a look at the file info. 400mm, 400 ISO, 5.6. Again, camera set to medium settings. Let's zoom in there. It still looks pretty good at 50%. 100%. 200%. 300%. Move on to the next image. Right, at this point I decided to go into Jessop's in Meadowhall in Sheffield and get another copy of the lens, the 100-400 lens, and test it out just to make sure the one I was testing at home wasn't anything wrong with it, basically, and it just performed the same, basically. So let's zoom in a little bit. 100%, 200%, could be better, 300%. So what was the data on that? ISO 400mm, 30th of a second, 5.6. So it was slow shutter speed, so it could be why it's a little bit shaky there. The next image, let's have a look at the image data for that. 100mm, ISO 250, 4.5. I tried to get as much out of focus as I could to demonstrate how good it is at throwing the background out of focus. 100%. Doesn't look that sharp, if I'm honest. Let's just have a look what that setting was. Well, it is 200th of a sec, 2000th of a second, sorry. So it should have been a lot better than that. I would have expected it to be better than that. 200%, 300%. Okay, move on to the next image. Okay, this is the point where I managed to get a nice squirrel picture. It's not easy to get close to wildlife with a lens that's only 400mm. Now, keep in mind with the 7D there will be a crop factor on there, making it 640mm. So let's just have a look at this image in more detail. 50%. 100%. Still looks nice. 200%. 300%. Let's just have a look at that image data. 400mm, ISO 400, 5.6. Have a look at the next image. Similar, but obviously you can tell about the detail in this sort of face. 100%. 200%. Still looks pretty good even for 200%. I think the Canon lens probably does better than normal other lenses out there when it's focusing quite close to something. And we were relatively quite close to these squirrels at the time. 300%. And just to confirm the image data on that. Thousandth of a second, 5.6, ISO 400, 400mm. And the last one, the best till last, because it's a nice picture this. Let's just have a look at the image data first. 400mm, 1600 a second for shutter speed, f8, ISO 400. Let's just zoom in there. At 50%. 100%. I think at 100% we're starting to lose a bit of detail, but it's still usable. I still think you could print that. 200%. Obviously, with it being set to medium, cropping in is a bit of a problem sometimes. Okay, and 300%. So, I just wanted to give you some examples from the Canon 100 to 400 Mark II lens on a 7D crop factor camera. Times that by 1.6, that should give you 640mm at the long end. I hope this video has been helpful, and thank you for watching.